Awesome. Okay, well, welcome everyone to another AIE working group call. I do have quite a few things on the agenda, mostly built off of action items from the previous call, and I'm sure we've got plenty to talk about outside of that as well. But um, the first topic, yeah, this is straight from an action item actually. So when we were talking previously about the need for kind of separated branches for development of 1.9. I said that I'd look at the kind of version matrix that we have between the CentOS stream AIE kind of approach and the NVIDIA forked approach as well for libvirtual in the kernel. And so I've gone ahead and just generated. There's a document behind this, but this table is basically the summary of where we are on the different branches as they kind of the two active branches that we have at the moment and the NVIDIA branch that I'm trying to kind of bootstrap as well. Um, One thing to highlight here, and one thing that we're kind of actively escalating internally at the moment and trying to get the CentOS AIE folks to kind of update, is that on our side, things are slightly behind in terms of libvirt. It hasn't been um, rebased yet to the level it needs to be to pull in various upstream bits and pieces. But most notably, the auto SMMU property detection feature that's causing a whole load of pain for us at the moment on the 1.9 branch, to the point where we've had to pin QEMU to a much older version just to get it to work. That's yeah, not ideal. Um, so it's just the ordering that QEMU went first in this instance, unfortunately, and it wasn't coordinated very well. But hopefully, I'm going to talk to the devs tomorrow, and hopefully we can get that moved along. So for that branch, we can then move along the version of libvirt and start consuming some more of those features as quickly as possible. On the NVIDIA side, yeah, your targets are pretty much just the kind of latest and greatest upstream versions, I guess. You're just carrying patches against them, right? So there is there is a delta there. There's a big delta, but I think the actual functionality on the AIE compose should be aligned in terms of this effort, in terms of enablement of Blackwell and Ruben and things like that. They shouldn't be too far apart, even if the version numbers are just through backports and rebases and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, at the moment on the AIE side, it's not great, but we are going to hopefully get that corrected very, very shortly. Is that the kind of context you were looking for, Fan, when we spoke about this last week? Does that help at all?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. This is very great.
Like
Yeah.
ultimately, I'm still hopeful that we can kind of collaborate together on a lot of things on these 1.9 branches, and back upstream obviously as well at the same time. Um, it's just unfortunate at the moment where we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot with this libvirt version being behind, and that's kind of blocking our use of a later QEMU and stuff. So um, yeah, if we can, if I can ask you, especially to look at the bootstrapping PR for that NVIDIA branch, that will at least give you that branch to start kind of working on and to start pulling in these forks potentially. You can automate the building of the forks there if you want as well on that branch, because it's completely separated and isolated from our AIE base branch. You can start landing patches or PRs depending on how you want to go about this, to obviously extend it and target some more of the advanced features that we don't currently have, be that the auto property assignment or I don't know, the command queue or VGM or whatever we spoke about previously. So but yeah, again, I do hope sooner rather than later we'll be able to collaborate, and patches that we either land on AIE or on your branch can be cross pollinated. And yeah, that's the aim of the goal is collaborate. The aim of the this effort is collaboration between the two groups. We're not trying to kind of segregate or build silos or anything. Cool. If there's no other comments on that part, yeah, if you can just review that and we can kind of move forward with it and potentially talk about.
Yeah,
Um, Go
sorry,
on, sorry.
sorry to cut. I yeah, if we yeah, I just curious how how we would align together to upstream from the AIE branches, given the LibreVirt QMU versions diverged.
So upstream back into KubeVirt, you mean?
Yeah,
Or so yeah, as I kind of said previously, alignment, like the upstreaming and alignment back into KubeVirt is really going to be based on, for now, how things are upstreamed back into CentOS Stream. So if that's through the fork stuff eventually ending up upstream on the NVIDIA side, or on the Red Hat side, things from the AIE branches eventually kind of being upstreamed into the CentOS stream, the vanilla CentOS stream versions. Um, we can land features in KubeVirt as alpha, I believe, without that support being there. But for them to graduate afterwards, I think it does need to be like CentOS stream is just the thing that we target. So it would need that support would need to be there eventually. But um, the actual alignment and upstreaming would work as it did previously with the Grace support, basically. Like once we understand what needs to happen and how it needs to happen, and we've kind of worked things through on these branches, either depending on how if things are available in AIE or if they're available in the NVIDIA forks, we can do it in one or the other, or if it's available in both, then we can cross-pollinate and work together. Once we have an understanding then of how to implement some of this stuff, it's the usual process. It's the enhancement process. It's just the normal upstreaming process, and we'll obviously then work together to combine these and to put it into a single place. This AIE kind of workspace it's really there to allow us to kind of iterate pretty quickly on these development fork builds of libvirtuemu in the kernel. Basically, it's a scratch face almost, and yeah, ultimately we are going to like push to bring those things together in KubeVirt as quickly as we can.
okay, yeah, I see. So that means we can still keep landing features in the under the alpha, but cannot promote to beta until the all the libvirt QMU kernel supported in the KubeVirt.
Yeah, I think I think that's a fair kind of compromise to make, and it's something that we've already got patterns of in the code base and in the project. Um, if we find that in itself is too rigid, then we can go back to the KubeVirt community and say like this is too rigid for us. Is there any way of expanding this so that we can land more stuff? But yeah, as it stands, as historically as it stood up until now, like I think that's just the pattern that we have to stick to. Um, Jed, you're on the call as well. Do you have any objections to that approach?
Nope.
Cool. But yeah, hopefully, like these branches will be relatively short-lived, and they're more to just get the initial kind of understanding and development there. Like downstream, we are reusing the branch, and we do have deliverables from it, so it'll survive for that. But yeah, hopefully this stuff can be upstreamed sooner rather than later, as it was in the previous cycle. with the Grace support that we work together on. Cool. The other action item from last week, that why is this not opening the file? I don't know. Okay, it's because I'm sharing the tab. I think it's trying to be helpful and not. The other thing that we spoke about was understanding more about the behavior of the auto property detection. So being pretty lazy, I went in through. I just threw an agent at it, and yeah, there's some interesting bits. Oh, you've already commented. Okay, so it should be just 48 all the time then. Okay, interesting. Yeah, there's a couple of paths. Folks can read through it in their own time. Yeah, there's things like this we might need to think about, and might need to iterate on these branches to kind of understand how we're going to deal with some of this. But yeah, it's hopefully nothing too concerning, and something we can definitely handle. As soon as we get the libvirt builds in AIE, this is the first thing that I'm going to be tackling is the support for this. So, Fan, if you don't have any immediate kind of plans to work on this, I will be as soon as I can get some kind of build to work against. So, with libvirt, so yeah, that will hopefully be sooner rather than later.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, because I just started reading a few minutes before the meeting. So in my understanding, this is more like a libvirt cumul mismatch, right? So because of some patches
Mm-hmm.
changes in the latest libvirt and cumul, but not being carried in the older version, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so on our side, I just wanted, I see you say we hard coded the output address size and SS size ID, right? S size S size sorry SID size. So that is because we verified that only 48 bits and 20 bits the length is supported
Mm-hmm.
on the Quiz Blackwell and Vera Rubin. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why. Maybe yeah, so I think in the later version, libvirt cumul and kernel, all the VFIO drivers running on the Quiz Blackwell has to be supported the SSID size of 20. That value is extracted from the SMU register, and that so and the 48 bits should be the only one supported on Quest Blackwell and Vera Rubin in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I think maybe setting to the auto should work, but I don't know what's other side effect.
Yeah, I think the idea with auto wasn't like the code that we have, the Grace specific code that we have at the moment, obviously with the hard coded values will just work. And you've already validated that these are the correct values for everything. But I think going forward, it was to just avoid us continuing having to carry stuff like this, and just basically handing over that ownership, responsibility is probably a better word, for understanding these values and for knowing how to actually probe them and gather them and stuff to another component. So yeah, this document does suggest that we can rip out these values. I guess the way that things are architected at the moment, it is Grace specific, so we don't expect this to change over the life cycle of Grace. Yeah, I, it's just as additional platforms come on, if there's values like this that we continually have to kind of probe for and adapt around, that would just be additional stuff in KubeVirt that we'd have to carry. So I think when Vladik asked for this initially, we just wanted to just get rid of stuff like this if possible, and the responsibility of carrying it forward. So yeah, it's not a burning thing to remove. I would still like to remove it sooner rather than later if possible. Just so we had the pattern in the code base that we don't care about this stuff. We tell QEMU essentially to go and handle stuff for us through libvirt, obviously. But yeah,
Mm.
is that a concern for you? Would you rather have all of this knowledge kind of within KubeVirt for each of the platforms going forward?
Uh, uh, mm, yeah, what you said, yeah, that what you said is makes totally makes sense because um yeah, so because we are yeah, so the web 199 is mainly focused on the Blackwell and Ruby in the future, but as you said, the hard coding the OS SSID size maybe maybe an issue to the previous devices like Hooper or different platforms. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the properties that we know about now, and maybe in the future there's additional properties that we would need to pass in here or something. And yeah, if we adapt, if we just have KubeVirt use auto, it just hands off all of that responsibility and need to carry stuff over to like a completely different project and people. So yeah, um, I will. It's going to be something we're going to have to look in. Well, I'm going to look into in the next week or two once I get the bits from the libvirt team that allow me to use the later QEMU, and hopefully, yeah, we'll probably end up using it in our branch to begin with, and yeah, we can then kind of collaborate, converge on if we want to use auto or if we just want to go hard coded, then back in KubeVirt, based on that and based on our experiences and learning and probably pain with switching to it. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mm.
cool.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I will reach out our BaseOS kernel team to get some advice there also.
Yeah, well, I think the QEMU stuff is already in. So yeah, it's this, isn't it? Share this tab. So all of this is already up there already. So yeah, ask the kernel folks what they think of the approach. Um, is this from? Who
And
is this
Nancy,
from?
oh, and yeah, yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't tell if it was from NVIDIA or not, but yeah, yeah, cool. So I assume it is a kind of a reasonable approach. Cool. All right.
Okay.
Uh, awesome. In terms of PRs that are open at the moment, so there are a couple. There's one I really wanted to call out quickly. Is the 65 that is a backport of something that landed on main. I then tried to cherry pick it to release 1.9, and Itamar kind of rightly said this hasn't really had any time to bake in yet to the release into main. Sorry, it hasn't been released yet. It's just in main. Can we just hold off for a while before we backport it to release 1.9? I'd like to just get it onto the AIE MV branch, and Jed, have you? Oh no, Federico's already approved it. Nice. Um, cool. Yeah, if we can get that in, that would be good, just to get that some runtime sooner rather than later. The other PR that I've got is the KubeVirt CI kind provider for Grace. So I've been using this myself on a Blackwell system and a GB200 system. It's just making the dev cycle a little bit shorter for me. So instead of using any kind of Frankenstein downstream deployment, I'm just using an upstream kind-based deployment that is nice and quick, and this does all the correct binding and everything. That's nice. I don't have a kind of pre-configured guest or anything at the moment, so I'm still having to like manually boot up the guest and then log into it and reconfigure everything internally to check things, but using the open drivers. But that might be something I follow up with. Yeah, I want to get this in on the branch. It isn't going to go into KubeVirt CI anytime soon because we don't have the hardware at the moment to run it in CI anyway, and yeah, it's very rough around the edges as well. But I think it's good enough. I think for the AIE 1.9 branch to begin with. So yeah, if folks are able to take a look, did I move this out of draft? Because it might just need a rebase. No, it needs a rebase. Sorry. I will get that rebased and out of draft ASAP because I was waiting on a few things landing. We do have CI now as well for the AIE 1.9 branch. I can, as soon as the NVIDIA 1.9 branch is bootstrapped, I can add the same jobs there as well. But it's very basic linting, unit test building, generating, and conformance, or like the ARM64 testing at the moment upstream is basically conformance, but yeah, it's there's some coverage there as well, at least. Sorry, so you haven't broken anything too badly with that, and I can definitely add that in for you guys once we get the bootstrapping agreed on. The only other thing was this PR58 fan that you put in. I ran out of time just before the meeting, but I think this is partly merged, right?
Yes, this one was merged to 1.9.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I've been rebasing. I've rebased the AIE branch on the latest RC tag. Actually, there's been two, isn't there? I will double check that. But yeah, we're going to rebase on tags going forward. So yeah, that should have been pulled in already. And with the NVIDIA branch, I don't think I've rebased it recently, but I will get that up to date. So I'll make sure that all of this is there for you as well. Yeah, let me just make a note of that.
Oh, you saying that it's merged to 1.9 AIE or KubeVirt 1.9?
Both. So I've been rebasing the AIE 1.9 branch on release 1.9. So it should already be in the AIE branch for 1.9. I just need to double check the NVIDIA 1.9 branch. And I'll just make a note to do that, and I'll get it rebased for you tomorrow. If it needs it, just to make sure that changes there for you. I've been waiting for the GA tag to get cut, and obviously it's been delayed and delayed. So yeah, once the GA tag is there for 1.9, I'll just sync it up to that, and that'll be the starting point. Going forward, we did look at some kind of automated rebasing for these branches, but it's very tricky. So I can make sure that you have access again to force rebase these if you need to, for the NVIDIA branch at least, like I did with your 1.8 branch previously. I think that's acceptable. So yeah, it's not ideal. It would be nice to have some automation in place, but the only real viable option is to cherry pick every single commit that goes into release 1.9 and create a PR for it every single time. That's just a lot of overhead and a lot of work, unfortunately. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. for today, we kind of, yeah, on our side we've been a bit scuppered by this liver issue, unfortunately, because I did hope to make some more progress on the 1.9 branch. Was there anything else on your side that you wanted to talk through or talk about?
This is great. Thanks so much for this effort. Um, yeah, I think it's a reason the importance of letting the customer providing the flexibility to the customer, building the KubeVirt using different liverbird QMU versions dynamically. Uh, that would be more flexible, I guess.
Yeah, in terms of this effort, yeah, we can be as flexible as we need to be. That's absolutely fine. Um, with core KubeVirt, it, you're free to do whatever you want to do with a fork or a checked out kind of version of it, I guess. Um, I think if you want to have that flexibility baked into KubeVirt, that's a bigger discussion that I
Yeah.
know folks have tried to have recently in the last couple of years. Um, that never seemed to get anywhere. But yeah, there are plenty of non-Red Hat aligned vendors who consume KubeVirt, right? So it's definitely possible. It's just how you encode that into the project. At the moment, there's no, um, as far as I'm aware, there's no um, kind of assurances that things will work if you use like a random version that isn't aligned with the project or enterprise Linux in general, I guess. But yeah, for this effort, that's why I created the branch because I don't want it to be a blocker for you. So yeah, that's that's absolutely fine. Okay, doke. Cool. Okay. Fan, I did see that you on the confidential computing call we're talking about CCA like with this effort and with Vera Rubin and stuff. It's on our radar a little bit, but obviously until kernel support is there and the vert layers also are updated and stuff, like it's not something we're actively tracking. I assume you're just kind of working through that and keeping an eye on it for later in this calendar year, early next year, before there's any kind of implementation, even in KubeVirt AIE, right?
Yeah. So I think the kernel support will be ready in the coming September. So
Oh, okay. Wow.
yeah, I think the actual work will be landed late this year
Hmm.
or early next year. So that's a roughly time frame.
Okay.
Uh, and oh yeah, so I reviewed your PR for the secure boot on the ARM, so that's good. Would you mind resuming the work on that?
Yeah, I tried to earlier. I've been stuck in meetings all day, so I did a very lazy attempt at updating it. But I will go back and yeah, it's failing in CI already. I put it ready to review without actually testing it locally, so that's on me. Yeah, I'll resume work on that. It's scheduled for this release anyway for me to start work on it again and everything. So I think Felix also reviewed it this morning as well. It was nice. So yeah, I'll get that moving and I'll get the VEP updated as well. It's probably tomorrow now, just to reflect that I am actively working on it for 1.10. Um, the only tricky thing with that is just the validation because of Fedora um, messing things up, but it's alpha, so yeah, I should be able to get it in relatively quickly, hopefully.
Okay, awesome.
Hmm. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time and attention, as always. If anything does come up, we've got the channel upstream to talk about things. Oh, in fact, yeah, you did react. I did tell you about the submission for KubeVirt Summit Live that I put forward. It's just a copy paste of the one we've already put forward for KubeVirt Summit. And yeah, there's no guarantee that I'll be able to go anyway, because yeah, travel budget.
I think are they two separate the KubeCon? Oh, sorry, KubeVirt Summit or just the same one?
Yes. Yeah, so I didn't even know about the live one. I knew I knew we had it like as part of KubeCon, but I thought the CFP for it had already come and gone. So I'm not paying enough attention in the community meetings apparently. But yeah, so the KubeVirt Summit, the original one, is the online presentation version. And then the KubeCon is KubeVirt Summit Live is at KubeCon, so the physical kind of version of that. And Andrew's pinged me privately actually and just given me a bit more context about like the contributor meetup and all that kind of stuff that happens after it. So yeah, it's not impossible that I'll go, but yeah, we will see how funding it goes because have to get a flight across and everything. So yeah, we will see. I'm hopeful, but yeah. Apologies for not reaching out prior to doing that. I didn't think you'd mind. Do you have plans to go to KubeCon NA this year?
Uh, no, right now. I submitted a KubeCon talk uh
Okay.
2 months ago, but I don't I'm not sure if it will accept it.
Yeah, yeah. What was your KubeCon talk about?
Oh yeah, it's a KubeCon about the RDMA
Hmm.
RDMA support for the AI factory.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, see if the submission even gets in. When is the KubeCon CFP coming back? Do you know? Is it not until September or something? Or
Yeah, I heard that it will be uh August.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Huh.
I thought the KubeCon, sorry, KubeVirt Summit is a part of the KubeCon, like what they did in the Europe.
No, so yeah, it's broken. It's split out now. So I think KubeVirt Summit itself is the online thing that we have every year. Um, but yeah, the live version that we've now submitted for is the KubeCon part. So there's just a naming change or something. Again, I need to pay more attention at the early part of the community meeting. Apparently, yeah, I assume Andrew's been talking about this for months, and I've just completely missed it. Sorry. But yeah, we have a submission for both now. So the worst case, well, not worst case, but the best case scenario is we'll just have to give the same presentation twice to different groups of people. But cool.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks very much, and yeah, I will catch you in the Slack channel and in PRs. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.